his part. He was just on Fox saying, look, I agree with Chip Roy. I'm not particularly thrilled about this deal, but the bottom line is this is a divided government. As you just said, there is a very slim majority in the House. You got a Democrat-controlled Senate, a Democratic president. This is just kind of what you have to do to get the deal done. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I think you should take the House majority for a bit of a spin and go over to Senator Schumer, the president, and say, look, I mean, we control the power of the purse. We had an agreement, a bipartisan agreement. It was signed and the president signed it into law, puts caps into place, adhere to the caps. I mean, I look, and it was by a majority of Republicans and Democrats. So we just adhere to the caps. We'll get to the spending restraint that we should put in place, and we can move forward. And I think it's what we ought to do. And if they want to shut down the government, that's on them. Look, by the way, this is
it's not on them. It's on you and the other hardliners, Republican hardliners who are standing in the way of this.
Why would it be on us?
Well, Johnson has already announced the top lines for the potential spending deal with Democrats. I mean, there's already been
which is a violation of the agreement. So why would it be on us? Well, they would be the ones choosing shutdown.
They would say no. And by the way, no, this would be on GOP hardliners if the government shuts down.
No, why? Because what we said is there's an agreement from last year. We should stick to it. Like the whole point here is,
and Speaker Johnson would say we are sticking to it, and I've gotten $16 billion in extra spending cuts and $30 billion total from what Democrats wanted initially, and we are sticking to the deal that was struck. What do you say to that?
It's not. It's $1.66 trillion using a bunch of side deals and gimmicks to expand the size of the government, well over the omnibus spending bills of last year. And look, let's be very clear. This is a big give for me to say that I would even sit down and consider that when the Texas border is wide open. I want to see our border secure first. So for me to sit down and say, look, I'll consider a CR through the end of the year that would adhere to the caps so we can govern in this divided government, that's actually a give on my part, because Texas is under assault by a recalcitrant administration and a Secretary of Homeland Security who was thankfully grilled today by Mark Green for lying to me under oath while people get assaulted in Texas.
And we're going to talk more about the border later on, but I want to ask you before we get to that. You have openly flirted with this idea of making a motion to vacate your new speaker, Mike Johnson, as we talk about. He makes spending, if he makes a spending deal that isn't tough enough on the border and like what you've laid out. Is his job in jeopardy today?
And what I've said is that everything's always on the table. I mean, that's the whole point of having rules, so that you can be able to hold the body to account. Nothing should be off the table. But by the way, as you know, I was not itching to move the motion to vacate in the fall. I was opposed to that move. I didn't agree with it. I don't want to do here. Mike's a friend. What I want the Republican conference to do is stand up and fight. Actually do what we said we would do. And that's what I want to see out of this. And so, look, everything should be on the table. Today, we took down a rule saying, look, guys, let's sit down, do our job, spend at the level we're supposed to. The people I represent, they want us to cut spending, secure the border. That's what we need to do.
All right.